All right, so should we just get right to the guest before we lose her?
Yes, that's great.
Okay. What's her name?
Candy, we have Candy Miles-Crocker on hold here.
You have to push the button.
I know.
You don't know how to do that? Is that
And then,
okay,
sorry.
Is that Candy? Candy.
Hi, Candy.
Hey, hi.
Hi, welcome to Real Estate on Sunday. I'm Diana Dority, and this is Jim Lowenstern with us.
Hi, Candy.
Gentlemen, Diana.
How are you?
Good, how are you both?
Good.
Candy has been an active realtor for almost 14 years. She works in Washington, D.C. and Virginia, and has a sales license in Maryland as well. She's also created and founded the Real Life Real Estate Training Program, and that teaches real estate professionals what really happens during the real estate transaction. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
So, Candy, what really happens during a real estate transaction?
Well, it's all the things that they never teach you in the pre-licensing class. They don't teach.
That's a lot.
They don't teach you anything.
I know.
They try to teach you how to avoid a lawsuit is what they teach you, but in the day-to-day, dealings of a real estate agent, you know that we deal with so many different scenarios. Just even, how to leave a voicemail, how to communicate, how to write an offer, and, that all-important buyer presentation and listing presentation. So there's just a lot that they don't even scratch the surface on.
Okay. So, when you coach, this is all remotely, or do you do it face-to-face? Do we have to fly to you, or how do we get your coaching?
Face-to-face, and some of it is remotely, via telephone or Skype. And typically what I find is that people or agents think they're working, and they're doing activities that give the illusion of working, because working for them is often fearful. Because with real estate, you have to put yourself out there and not be afraid to talk to strangers and ask for business. And a lot of people have difficulty asking for business.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that they have difficulties with that?
A couple of things. Fear of rejection, that I want them not to like me. Fear that someone is going to ask them something they don't know. This is especially true with new agents. So instead of me putting myself out there, they might ask a question I don't know. I just won't ask. And the third thing is that when they talk to their friends and family, they don't want them to feel like they're begging for business or not doing as well as they think they should be doing. So it's all about their image that they're worried about. And they don't want their friends to perceive that they're not doing well.
Okay. So how do they handle it?
It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So what I have to teach them to do is, it's easy to talk to people who love you. I call them everybody has a fan club, so it's the I Love Diana fan club, I Love Candy fan club, and those are people who want...
I Love Jim fan club.
Jim, you have a fan club too? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out there. But you go to your fan club members first, and you just talk to them, and if these are people who don't want to see you succeed, then they're not really your friends. And that's hard for people to get their head wrapped around, is that not everybody in your sphere is really out for your best interest.
I do agree with that. Some people don't want you to do well. They don't like you.
So those are the people you need to eliminate.
Get them out. Get out of your fan club.
Yeah, they're not in your fan club. They shouldn't even be in your sphere, because they're just negative people, and they're always going to be like Debbie Downer. So don't even go to those people, but go to the people who want to see you succeed, and say, hey, I'm a new real estate agent, or I'm an agent, business is good, but I could always use more. Who do you know who can help me? And I also ask them to do things that are completely out of their comfort zone, like door knocking. Because I don't know many people who like door knocking. But if you knock with a purpose, because if you go to a neighborhood, for instance, that you want to farm, well, don't go and give them something like one of those magnetic calendars that I hate, that I can't even read. But if you give them information about homes that have recently sold in their neighborhood, no one's going to turn that away. They love knowing what the house down the street sold for. So if you can give me that information, I don't have to search for it. I love you. So you do that, once a quarter, and just let people start to recognize who you are and that you are a real estate agent. And those are types of things you can do for free.
So that's, how many doors a quarter?
Well, it all depends on your comfort level. I always tell people the first weekend or the first evening, start with about 10. Because your fear factor is going to be high, your anxiety level is going to be high. So you do 10, and you realize that, nobody hurt you or, said anything that was just so detrimental you couldn't wake up the next morning. Then you can add to that. But start with 10 and then build on that. I would actually recommend you do it every month, because you might do 10 this weekend, 10 next weekend, 10 the following weekend. And just every weekend you're just giving them, analysis of their neighborhood.
Why on the weekend? Why not during the weekdays?
I find that people are a little busy in the evenings, especially now time changes. When in the spring it's a little bit different because it's lighter out, and just for safety reasons as well.
Why just in the evening?
Why evening?
Why, yeah, you said
What about
evening.
during the day?
During the day, because you want to meet people. So a lot of people probably are at work. If you live in an older community that might be retired, but you actually, this is something you don't really want to put just in their door handle or something. You want to have a little bit of a conversation and to introduce yourself.
So let's talk about you. You've done it for 14 years. Have you been knocking on doors, Candy?
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
Okay, so you knock just
Everything
on the weekend evenings?
I don't do too many evenings. I do weekends. Weekends around 11 o'clock, noon.
Okay.
Or sometimes in the summertime I'll do around 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So those are the time frames that I find people are generally either they haven't gone out of the house to run their errands, or they're back from running their weekend errands.
I did that once. I started in real estate in Florida, and I got my license. It was in the summer.
Okay.
In the Palm Beach area. I actually started on a little island called Hypoluxo. It's in Manalapan. Very, very nice little waterfront community there. And started knocking. I had I came from Boston down to Florida, so the only thing I had was a corduroy sport jacket. I put on my,
Do they have patches?
yeah,
on all those?
I think it actually did. So you can picture this. Corduroy and patch.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very
That was the
nice.
style.
And,
That was style.
Oh, yeah.
It was the style.
I was styling for sure. So just picture July in Florida, midday sun, knocking on
Like 100
doors.
degrees out.
So, I've been doing this business for over 30 years. Is it any wonder I haven't knocked on a door since?
Yeah.
I lasted about 20 minutes. I don't think I met anyone, but I was dehydrated and had to be
Sure.
hooked up to an IV after that. I think your idea is great,
It's
Candy.
wonderful.
I think that my suggestion for your coaching, when you're telling people to do this, they have to pick a number, they have to pick an area, and they have to be committed to that area and that number, and it's almost like a daily thing. I would say 4 out of 7 days a week, they should probably knock 50 houses, and I'll tell you why. Once they start getting success in that area, they're going to get listings in that area, the phone's going to ring, someone's going to want to see their listing that's a block over. They're going to own that town.
Nice.
Right,
Right. But, what you're saying about weekends and evenings and, start once a quarter, if there isn't a full commitment, I don't want to be preachy, but it ain't going to happen.
You have to be consistent.
Oh, and you have to do a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
think
yeah,
of,
you have to be consistent, but what I've found is if you tell an agent that they have to do 50 houses,
It's overwhelming.
it's just too much. It's just too big.
Candy.
You have to break it down into bite-sized pieces.
Candy, I'm going to teach you how to coach, okay? You have to tell them right up front, this business is tough, and if you're
yeah.
not willing to put in the hard work, get out now.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna knock you on your butt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
10 houses?
I
Are
found
you
that most-
kidding me?
Like, this is the easiest career ever. Right?
10 houses. If you knock on the door of 10 houses, and let's assume all 10 actually even speak to you if they're
If
home,
1 out of 10 even agrees to
it's
do
a
anything.
100-year process.
Yeah.
4 days a week, 50 houses a day. And if they're not there, you are putting something on their doorknob,
Sure.
you know, who you are.
That I came by, come give me a call.
Community newsletter, your listing fact sheet, stuff. So
Resume.
they can get, everything. And
I like it.
and so what's that? 200 houses a week. That's 800. I think they should be knocking on the same door at least once a month. Like, you know, it's got to have some
That would be
kind of-
ideal, yes.
And then
some kind-
eventually you can have some kind of more relationship where you don't have to go by every month, where you can call and
Once they
talk
get
to them.
to know you and they're familiar
Yeah.
with your face and all of that, yes.
It's politics. I mean, if you're going to run for president, do you go to one town in New Hampshire and go, well, I had some donuts and coffee in
I'm good.
in New Hampshire. Yeah, I'm good.
It's a campaign. It really is.
It really is.
It really is. It really is.
And it's a marathon, too.
But so many people, so many agents don't look at themselves as marketers. They don't understand, well, I'm an agent. I'm like, you wear so many different hats. You have to do all of it and do it all of it simultaneously. You just can't do this little piece of it and ignore another piece. You have to be consistent with everything that you do. Otherwise, you're just doomed for failure.
So don't do that 10 door stuff again. That's coddling. Yeah, if you want to
50.
coach, you got to kick their butt. I'm going to coach you to coach them.
Well, that's good, but
I'll
over
send you
years,
my bill.
I found that if you give them too big of a chunk, it's just, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.